There he is, right there, right there. No, what in the world is going on out there? Come on. We can't run this play if you can't get open. Now, come on, let's go. Try it again.
A lot goes into the making of a champion. The same is true of the products they choose to play with. Rawlings.
All right, that's more like it. Let's see if we can do it again.
A never-ending commitment to excellence.
Boucher goes with the left hand, no good. Stopped back in by Shane Battier on the drive. Another amazing move from the amazing sophomore All-American for the Blue Devils. And Dunleavy for 3 in a row. Oh, that is some sequence for Duke University.
We are Duke. The Blue Devils run to number 1. From the beginning, it seemed like destiny. A national championship for college basketball's team of the past decade. In putting together yet another impressive tournament run, this time Coach Mike Kryzyzewski and the Duke Blue Devils put together all the pieces and won their 3rd NCAA title in 10 years. These Blue Devils were a team on a mission. A team that could proudly say, we are the champions. We are Duke. For many teams in this amazing season, just getting invited to the tournament was satisfaction enough. A chance to showcase a season-long effort of hard work and determination, and to show off a few acrobatics along the way.
Play with passion. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go.
Welcome, folks, to the NCAA tournament. And that may be the play of the tournament. Double smooch. Rising to the occasion.
Pack.
Rock in the rim up high.
Let's get this. Let's go. On 3, win. On 3, win. 1, 2, 3, win.
Bob for the lead. What a shot. Intercepted by Daniels. Buckle up for Bob. And our first upset of the NCAA tournament. And for the 11th year in the last 13, a number 12 seed has advanced to the second round.
61 makes his move with 5 ticks left. Burton has it. Burton for Georgetown. Burton running. Burton scores the winner for Georgetown. Seven on the shot clock. Slides through. Long, leans, hit. Georgia State, the 11th seed in the West, rallying from 16 down to knock off Wisconsin from the Big Ten.
And Gonzaga with the ball, down 1, 17 seconds to go.
I think you want to be aggressive with the ball right here. Go towards the basket.
And it's Dickow off penetration. Blocked underneath. Cavalry got it to go with 9 seconds left. Gonzaga up 1. Virginia ball. Mason to the rim. Up 4 seconds left. Indiana State trying to pull off the upset. They lead by 1. Johnson the shot. No good! And the madness continues in Memphis. Indiana State with its first NCAA tournament win since the Larry Bird era.
Don't think about playing conservative ball here. You still got to at least get 1 score.
6 seconds on the clock, and Mitchell hits.
What a remarkable turn of events here in San Diego. A historic upset. Jefferson will inbound. Inside, the big fella. Williams! Iowa State pushing, time running down. Tinsley off the iron. Unbelievable! The 15th seed upsets the number 2. Get to the tip, big fella. Who wants it more? Oh my goodness! One shot, something play after another. Watch it. Taking it to the house. Quick move inside. What a play!
Making 3 straight appearances in the Sweet 16 for Gonzaga.
Here comes the Big East Co-Player of the Year. Harley down the lane. The runner down, middle, far down. And that's it. USC pulls off the upset. 74-71. And they are headed for Philly and the Sweet 16. John Chaney has done it again. He has coached his Owls to the Sweet 16, and the Gators go down to the Temple Owls by 21. Oh, this is terrific basketball now. And the Pitt State Nittany Lions are heading to the Sweet 16. How about that vertical leap? Between the eyes. Kentucky really looks confused right now. Up ahead, and Clancy slams it home. He'll set up, open 3. Too strong. Followed up by Hull. Look out. Hogan's got a hand on it. Back to Granville. Lobs it. Lukenthal again. Oh, wow. The Trojans are 1 game away from the Final Four. Let's go, baby. Send it in. Jason Williams. Look at this, another line.
In the end, 4 teams were left standing, primed for one final weekend in the Twin Cities. One final chance to bring home the national championship. Returning to the Final Four for the 3rd straight year was defending national champion Michigan State, the #1 seed in the South.
They say it couldn't be done.
In the tournament's first 2 rounds, Tom Izzo's Spartans turned up the defensive pressure with dominating wins over Alabama State and Fresno State.
Beautiful using the glass.
The Spartans rolled on to the regional semifinals and into a matchup with the 12th seed Gonzaga. In the second half, the Spartans wore down the Bulldogs before taking over the game to earn a spot against Temple in the regional final. Led by David Thomas's 19 points, Michigan State held off repeated runs by the 11th seed to become only the 9th school in tournament history to reach 3 straight Final Four.
Spartans on the road to Minneapolis.
Out of the West region came Maryland, the number 3 seed. In the first round, Coach Gary Williams' Terrapins survived a scare from George Mason. Then, behind the speed of its starters and depth of its bench,
That's what they need.
Maryland overpowered both Georgia State
How good a pass was that?
and Georgetown to earn a date with the region's number 1 seed, Stanford. Lonnie Baxter's 24-point performance against the Cardinal led the Terps to their first appearance in the Final Four in school history.
The Maryland Terrapins, after 100 years of basketball, will head to the Final Four for the first time.
Making its 17th straight tournament appearance under coach Lute Olson, Arizona came out of the Midwest, the region's number 2 seed. In the opening round, the Wildcats ran past Eastern Illinois.
Oh, the dexterity.
And then held Butler scoreless for almost 7 minutes in the second half to advance to the Sweet 16.
Was he smooth? A lot of O's in his smooth.
In the regional semifinals, Arizona trailed Ole Miss at the half. But Lauren Wood's 16 points and 11 rebounds helped spark a Wildcat comeback and set up a meeting with the top seed, Illinois. Led by Gilbert Arenas' 18 first-half points and Wood's 6 blocks, the Cats upended the Fighting Illini to return to the Final Four for the first time since winning the national title in 1997.
Arizona is on its way to Minneapolis.
Surviving the East was the top seed Duke, the Atlantic Coast Conference champions. Coach Mike Kryzyzewski's Blue Devils began their tournament run with a convincing win over Monmouth College.
Another big time free try, and he nails this one.
We came in and we were on fire from the start. We hit a lot of our shots. We were really rolling, and we were able to win by a nice margin and advance to the second round.
Duke then defeated the 9th seed, Missouri, to move into the Sweet 16.
So the Missouri game was a very emotional game for us, playing against Coach Snyder and a lot of former Duke staff, alumni. Jason played great that game and really led us.
Jason Williams followed his 31 points against the Tigers with 34 against UCLA, 26 coming in the second half.
Jason put us on his back, and for that period of time, we just rode him to to a Sweet 16 victory.
It was a big win because it meant we went farther than last year.
Then came 28 more by Williams in a win over USC.
They had 5 guys who were big and physical, and we really had to play well to win that game.
Sending the Blue Devils to the Final Four for the 13th time in school history.
Duke wins the East again. They're heading to Minneapolis.
USC was the big game to get into the Final Four. They were an outstanding basketball team, and we were able to play a pretty good game ourselves and advance to the Final Four.
Hoping practice would make perfect on this Final Four weekend, the 4 teams gathered at the Metrodome on Friday afternoon for one last session of X's and O's. In less than 24 hours, these teams would endure the ultimate test in their quest for the national championship. And so the best day of the year for college basketball had finally arrived and brought with it the craziest of fans.
Special programs.
Go Blue Devils! All the way!
Bear down, Arizona. Bear down, red and blue.
Blue Devils.
Let's go, State!
Number one!
It's play good ball! As the wild kids are awesome!
Duke. Let's go number one, baby. Number one, baby.
Yeah, 2 in a row!
Right there.
Go Duke!
World Championship, college game.
The first semifinal featured Michigan State and Arizona.
Good afternoon, everybody, from the Final Four in Minneapolis. You gotta be happy to be here. All the eyes of the basketball world are on the Twin Cities.
When we used to play with my boys back home, and NCAA comes around, we used to get our little brackets out and see, you know, do the little tally up, see who's going to make it to the Final Four, who's going to be in the championship and win it all. And this year, my friends have me winning it all.
For Tom Izzo, it's his third consecutive Final Four, and I think that says it all.
I can't sit here and say I even dreamed of ever coming to 3 of them. I mean, I thought if I was coming to 3 of them, I'd be paying my ticket. For this to happen, I think is a great tribute to the players we have.
Minutes before the first game starts, there's so much hope in the building, so much anticipation.
We'll tip it up.
Long tip back to Thomas. And Michigan State looking for back-to-back championships with first possession.
Defense! Defense! Defense!
Playing a swarming zone, Arizona immediately turned on the defensive pressure, frustrating the Spartans right from the start, holding State to only 1 field goal in the game's first 5 minutes. Meanwhile, Lauren Woods was finding a groove inside on his way to 9 first-half points. Throughout the game's first few minutes, Arizona continued its suffocating defense, leading to some easy baskets.
Quick 5 here for Arizona, and Michigan State already faces its biggest deficit of this tournament.
Out to Bell, he tries to tip it ahead to Thomas. Down the lane, Richardson. Shot rejected.
Oh my goodness, what a fantastic block by Jefferson.
Jefferson, quick feed inside Woods. Wide open, Jansen.
With 15 and 21 to play in the first half, Arizona 7, the Spartans 2.
Early on, State seniors were ice cold, so Coach Tom Izzo called upon 2 freshmen to help spark the offense. Marcus Taylor and Zach Randolph responded, scoring 15 of the Spartans' 30 first-half points.
Taylor, feed in the lane to Randolph. Brown enters in, lays it in. Taylor into the lane, scoring.
Follow up by Zach. He fills it up, and a foul. Marcus Taylor, he'll gun for 3. So the freshmen give Michigan State a huge lift.
Arizona countered with a young gun of its own, sophomore Jason Gardner, who would go on to finish the first half with 13.
On top, Gardner.
Not afraid to shoot.
Gardner open for another 3.
Well, he's schooling the freshman.
With Gardner hitting 3 of 5 from beyond the three-point line, the Cats held off the tenacious Spartans and headed to the locker room with a 2-point halftime lead.
We've generally been a pretty good team after in the first 5-6 minutes, second half.
Gave him one at all.
He just told us that, 20 more minutes. We knew that we had to come out and we still had to play great defense for us to get easy opportunities to score. We have guys who can make easy shots if they have them, and, for the last 3 or 4 weeks, we've been getting a lot of easy shots.
Lute Olson's got to be happy with the lead and certainly the way his team played.
Definitely happy, but it's those minute distinctions that Coach will bring to the game. Just a few adjustments that could win this basketball game.
One of those adjustments was to spread out the scoring, and the Cats would start by getting the ball to Michael Wright, who had failed to register a single first-half point.
Wright wants it. This is the most aggressive I've seen Wright in this game.
His first field goal since the Sweet 16.
34-30.
Early in the second half, State trailed by only 4, but the Spartans were about to self-destruct. Normally careful and protective, State turned the ball over 11 times in the second half alone.
Bell is out last, knocked away, stolen by Gardner again.
Johnny Bell making mistakes that you'd never see out of this senior. Not a good play, another mistake by Bell.
Arizona's defense ignited an offensive firestorm.
16, good. Wildcats lead at 36-30.
Jefferson, three-pointer, and Arizona has its largest lead of the game.
Now 39-30.
This tempo is fast.
7 straight to start the second half for Arizona. Wright has it baseline right. He gets a tough luck miss. It pops out, but he gets it back. Powers it back up and in.
Timeout, Michigan State. Cats up by 11, 41-30.
Tom Izzo has seen enough. This Arizona team really clicking.
And Tom Izzo needs to talk to his guys.
Our perimeter did a great job. Richard, Jason, and Gilbert, it seemed like their hands were in every passing lane.
Me and Gilbert start to notice what plays they're running, what passes they're kind of throwing lazy. Then all of a sudden, once you start to recognize that, boom, you get a steal. Boom, you get another steal. And then after that, they're completely messed up because then they start overthrowing passes, hesitating on passes, and then that's when you really have their head mentally.
The Cats come out in this second half, red hot, take an 11-point lead. Michigan State has yet to score in just over 2.5 minutes.
Sensing a Spartan team very much out of sync, Arizona then blew the game open with 2 key plays. The first came from Jason Gardner.
Tries to follow it up, and out it goes to Gardner. They've got some numbers if they all converge. And to the line for a three-point opportunity.
We have played 4 second-half minutes. Arizona is on a 12-0 run.
The second from Richard Jefferson, whose breakaway dunk completed an amazing 14-0 Wildcat run that put the game out of reach. Arizona's combination of smothering defense and lightning speed knocked off the defending champs and earned the Wildcats the right to play in the championship game.
A team riding incredibly high on emotion and playing with purpose is now playing Monday night in the championship game.
The second semifinal saw Maryland face Duke. It would be the 4th time this season that the Terrapins would be meeting the Blue Devils, their Atlantic Coast Conference rivals.
We're very familiar with them, and they're very familiar with us. And so there's no surprises in this game.
Terps won 10 of their last 11, the lone loss to Duke, while the Devils won 11 of their final 12, the lone loss to Maryland.
I mean, it's become, pretty good rivalry.
This is the Duke Blue Devils' 13th trip to college basketball's biggest stage.
First Final Four for Gary, first Final Four in the history of the school.
That was our goal to get here, and we're here now, so we're not intimidated by anybody.
For Maryland, the scoring would come early and often as the Terps knocked in the game's first points from long range.
Straight on gun. Morris knocks home the first point of the ball game.
And then established an offensive presence inside.
Swiped away by Sanders, but he gets it back.
With each Maryland starter scoring in the game's opening minutes, the Terps quickly jumped out to an impressive 7-point lead that left the Blue Devils dazed and confused.
That's very uncharacteristic of Duke.
Maryland's aggressive play seemed to lead to nearly every loose ball in a half in which the Terps would come away with an amazing 25 rebounds.
And the Terrapin fans are on their feet.
Maryland came out, they played us very well. And it seemed like every shot they threw up went in, and another end we couldn't buy a bucket.
Left shot fake. Battier, 18-footer, is short. Shane Battier, 2 air balls already in this game. Killing me.
I was cold. My body was cold. I really couldn't get really loose and warm. And to be truthful, I was a little nervous to begin the game.
Williams really out of sync in this first half. Williams just doesn't seem confident to be able to go by Blake.
Follow up, no. Back to Battier. Blake reaches in to help force the steal.
Bhutan is having a big first half.
Look at his speed, lead to 2.
And the Terrapins go up 20-10.
Everything was going Maryland's way as the Terps built a commanding first half lead, executing their game plan to perfection.
I think the keys to beating Duke is keeping those guys up the 3-point line.
Meanwhile, Duke's shooting woes continued.
Duke cannot buy a 3.
While Duke struggled, Maryland continued its offensive onslaught, this time from way outside. First, it was Juan Dixon.
Right side to Dixon again. Pull up. Fires the jumper outside. Bingo! Three-pointer from Juan Dixon. Dixon out on top. He'll go to the right side. He'll fire the three, and it's good. Juan Dixon heating up.
And then Steve Blake, who blew up the Blue Devils.
Another three-pointer. This time for Steve Blake.
In the first half, the two combined to hit 8 of 13 threes, helping the Terps race out to a remarkable 22-point lead only 13 minutes into the game.
Mike Kryzyzewski looking at a Duke team that he has never seen before.
Well, I looked at the clock and saw 39-17, and I can't remember when one of my teams has been down that much, and it took us really getting our tails whipped pretty soundly by Maryland before we came to the realization, like, we can't get any worse than this. Let's just start playing basketball.
The Blue Devils are going to settle down now, hopefully, and start to get into their rhythm. So let's see if they are ready to make a comeback.
Battier, baseliner. Oh, look at Dunleavy.
One of those patented runs. You get a feel for Duke coming right here. Battier knocks over Holman and gets the bucket.
Thanks to Carlos Boozer, that patented run would come as Duke's dominant center began to establish position on the inside.
Little turnaround right here for Duke University.
Then, when Shane Battier, on his way to a game-high 25 points, started to hit some shots, Duke began to climb back in the game.
16-5 Duke run. Inside
Duke slowly creeping back into it. 11-point lead.
With his team's 22-point lead slipping away, Juan Dixon's basket just before the end of the first half gave Maryland a much-needed boost of confidence.
James gives him room. Down to 7 seconds to go in the half. Here comes Dixon, pulls up, fires the jumper. Got it! How about that shot by Dixon? 1.5 seconds to go. That's the end of the first half.
At halftime, we said, you know, we played the worst 12 minutes of the year.
Leave everything on the floor.
If we're not playing well, Coach K is not the only person that has to get on us.
Go now, go now. Let's go, Big Case. Let's go, Booze.
We get on each other. And it wasn't a matter of getting the lead back in one possession. It was going to be a process. So we just try to chip away at the lead and claw our way back into the game.
Back within shouting distance, Duke started the second half just like it had ended the first and closed to within 4 points, only 2 minutes into the half.
Jason with Duhon calling for the ball. Sets for the three. Bottoms! Duhon quickly into the paint. Jump pass over to Battier for the three. How sweet it is! Shane Battier's three-pointer makes it a 7-point Maryland lead.
Energized by the Devils' comeback, All-America point guard Jason Williams began to step up his game.
Williams, stutter step move under the basket, gets to spin.
There's Jason Williams.
His first field goal in exactly 20 minutes on the game clock. Inside play you were calling for, Billy, and it's Boozer delivering.
Boozer's made an impact in this game, even with that bad foot.
Slowly but surely, Duke had chipped away at Maryland's once insurmountable lead, eventually getting to within 2.
It really conjures up the old gladiator competition.
This is going to be a war down to the end, and I think it's going to be who wants it more than that.
You can't have any fear. I mean, you just to come out, you know, and give them your best game.
The teams traded baskets during a frenetic 7-minute stretch.
One of the rim just barely grazed him. Loose ball, Bhutan.
Here's Duhon, fires from 3. Down he goes, shot no good. Hustle by Jason Williams, got it on the dribble. That'll drive Gary Williams nuts. Wow, and it's a 2-point ball game. Blake going against Duhon, takes him inside. Pull up right-hander, up good. Stephen Blake. Down the right side, Jason penetrates the runner, up rolls and goes. Jason Williams taking over this ball game. Duke is down by only 1. This is about the longest time period of a comeback that I've seen. Good job by Dixon. By Duhon.
Nicholas. Martisic, his second basket since coming back in.
Ball goes to the left corner. Battier for 3. Bottoms. Shane Battier.
Meanwhile, at the other end, there's a 3 by Juan Dixon.
Action unbelievable. Up and down, up and down. Both teams trying to make a run here. Eyes by his man. Dumps it off Boozer. A dribble and a dunk. Carlos Boozer with double figures, 10 points, 71-70 now.
Finally, with 7 minutes left and the Devils still down by 1, Jason Williams put Duke on top.
Holds up, fires the three, Duke by 1. First lead of the night as Jason Williams puts the Blue Devils up 73-72.
Jason actually had missed all of his threes, and then we're down 72-70, and he came from behind a high screen on the ball and had the courage, even after missing all those shots, to knock it down. But that's who he is.
I just felt I was open. I just took a shot and I just made it. And it kind of felt good to be up in the game for the first time.
The Devils might have been out in front, but a few minutes later, one of their key players would just be out.
What a collision.
I was just going for a loose ball. And me and Steve Blake collided in there, and I hit my head hard on the floor. And I blacked out for a little bit.
Duhan is lying flat on his back.
Chris is not somebody who's going to lie on the floor unless he's hurt, and then he just couldn't get up.
His head bounced off that floor, and his head hit hard.
You just want him to get up and run off the court.
He's going to have to be carried off this floor.
I mean, that was a very emotional time for us, for him, going down and him barely being able to walk off the court. I mean, just provided us a lot of boost of energy and just, a desire and will to win the game.
Clinging to a 1-point lead with 3.5 minutes remaining, Duke, desperate and dazed, dug down deep and remarkably took control of the game.
Gives it up, Boozer. What a half he's having.
Held to only 4 first-half points, Jason Williams broke out with 19 in the second half to finish off Maryland.
And here comes Duhan back to the Duke bench. And I'm sure his mom is one of the happiest. Duke by 9 points, its largest lead of the ball game, and Chris Duhan is back on the floor, much to the happiness of the Duke faithful across the way.
Closing with typical Duke devastation, the Blue Devils completed an amazing comeback, overcoming the largest ever halftime deficit in a Final Four game.
Duke with a 33-point turnaround, but he steals it again. Back-to-back to close it out.
Mike Kryzyzewski goes, wow! And Duke has advanced to the national championship game against Arizona Monday night.
And so it was on to the national championship. Arizona and Duke.
It is absolutely electric inside the Metrodome.
This is a classic matchup. Not very often you get 1 and 2 preseasons facing off in the finals.
This is going to find out the true champion, the team that's going to want it the most.
And as Shane Battier says, this is the way it should be. The 2 best teams in the country right now, Duke and Arizona, playing for the national championship on Monday night here in Minneapolis.
It seems like it has all the makings of a great, great basketball game, and I think both teams are playing at top levels.
On 3 win. 1, 2, 3 win. 1, 2, 3.
We're just looking for that one shining moment.
2 programs at the pinnacle.
Certainly 2 coaches, too, at the pinnacle of college basketball.
I think it's great for college basketball.
The Blue Devils have never lost inside of this arena. Their last championship was won here in 1992.
Arizona will have to weather a lot of storms tonight. It could be from the three-point line. It could be inside from Carlos Boozer. But I believe Arizona has the raincoats on, and they're ready to weather the storm tonight.
Playing a team like Duke, they're going to battle for 40 minutes, and we have to be ready.
This is the time of my life that I've been waiting for forever. And hopefully if we leave everything out on the court, mentally and physically, hopefully after that 40 minutes we can be champions.
And we are ready for the championship game to get underway. The light bulbs flash. Boy, it looked like the 4th of July with all those flash bulbs popping.
Early on, it was clear that each team would look to its stars, and the first to shine was Duke's Jason Williams.
Jason puts it on the floor, comes to the hole, reverse layup goes for Jason Williams. Another amazing move from the amazing sophomore All-American Blue Devils.
For Arizona, it was center Lauren Woods, who powered his way inside with surprising ease.
And Battier is going to take Woods on the inside. That kind of surprised me. I thought it'd be Sanders.
Woods moving on Battier. He's made now 2 terrific inside moves.
Duke fought back with its own inside attack.
Boozer inside, and he's going to the line. Count the basket.
basket.
But Arizona's big men continued their strong play down low.
Here's Arena, swing right, drives down baseline, pump fake, coming inside. Michael right for the jam.
Beautiful dish inside. Again, all points, Arizona points in the paint here.
Trailing by 4, Duke hit another detour not even 4 minutes into the game when Williams picked up his second foul and was forced to the bench.
I thought we were soft on defense. And after a couple timeouts, we finally got an intensity going defensively. However, in doing that, we were massaging the first half throughout with Jason's foul trouble. And you don't want to massage anything in a national championship game.
Arizona was ready to duke it out with a now seemingly vulnerable opponent. But having missed its last 6 shots, the Cats first needed to get back on track. Even with Williams on the bench, Duke responded as the Devils looked to take their first lead of the night.
Use it, gives away to Battier, back out top. He'll measure and take a 3, swish. Dunleavy with a pass fake and a drive, a pass off now to Duhan. The floating right-hander's good. Duhan almost brought rain with that one as high as he lofted that one up, but he cuts the lead down to 1 at 17-16.
Absolutely critical for Duke to get an inside presence scoring-wise.
Carlos Boozer provided that inside presence.
Carlos Boozer has 5 points, and the Blue Devils take the first lead of the ballgame at 18-17. Duhan stops. Entry pass down inside. Here goes Boozer back to the right side with the right-handed hook good. Carlos Boozer eating Lauren Woods for lunch right now.
Lauren Woods is a great shot blocker, but Carlos has such a big body. It's kind of like a caveman in a way where he's just so muscular. He's going to take it to you every time, and he did a great job doing that tonight.
In just over a minute, he scored back-to-back baskets to keep the Blue Devils on top. Woods, however, wasn't ready to give up the offensive spotlight.
And he's just a little bit too big for anybody that Duke puts on him.
But before Arizona could seize the momentum, Williams checked back into the game and stepped up the defensive pressure. Soon the Devils had upped their lead to 4, thanks to their All-America, Shane Battier.
Shane Battier taking the 7-1. Lauren Woods right to the rack.
Neither team, however, could make a run.
He's having a very aggressive start to this night. And here's Duhan. Yes, with the 3. Jefferson suspends and bangs on the jumper. Beautiful shot.
When Woods scored the last of his team-high 13 first-half points, Arizona had crept back to a single point with only 3 minutes left in the half.
There's Williams knocking down a 3. Right inside.
Terrific pass by Gardner.
13 seconds as Jason Williams goes one-on-one against Jason Gardner. Spins him down inside. The runner's up. Blocked. Goaltending. Goaltending called on Jefferson. Count the basket for Jason Williams. And that is the end of the first half. And the Duke Blue Devils take a lead to the locker room of 2 points at 35-33 over the Arizona Wildcats.
At the half, Arizona trailed by just 2 points, despite missing all 7 of its 3-point shots. A potentially devastating blow to such a good 3-point shooting team. On the other hand, Duke hit 4 3-pointers, but the Blue Devils were shooting poorly as well, missing 11 threes in the half.
Just didn't make the shots I normally knock down, and I just kind of went in halftime and just relaxed and was saying to myself, just go with the flow.
It was just a matter of just squeezing out 20 minutes of basketball that would lead us to a championship.
And the Blue Devils are coming back out on the floor right now, looking for their 3rd national championship.
We knew that, this is our final 20 minutes of the year, and we had to leave it all on the floor. And, guys were getting into each other, making sure everybody was motivated and ready to go.
Let's be impressive. Let's go, come on. Let's go, man. Passing Mike. Take them back forward. Let's get steals. Let's bring this. Let's go. Champions, let's go. Ready, 1, 2, 3. Champions, Michael. Let's go.
With the pressure of a national championship only 20 minutes away, the second half opened with an appropriate intensity.
Battier baseline for a quick two. He had only 6 in the first half. Right over Battier at the other end.
Little change in matchups here now. A 2-point game again at 37-35. Boozer kicks it outside Battier. Shot fake back inside. Boozer between two with the left hand lay in good. Carlos Boozer with 9 points. 39-35.
Both teams were wearing each other out because they're an excellent basketball team and very athletic. And so we had to generate our own energy, you know, and we did, and then Dunleavy stepped up.
After making just one first half shot, Mike Dunleavy simply went wild.
People don't really talk about him because I think he's overshadowed by Jason and myself sometimes, but he's a phenomenal basketball player.
Dunleavy has not been shooting well, but Dunleavy is a guy who believes in himself.
Duke now ahead by 3. Dunleavy makes it 6.
Once he hit the first one, you wanted to see if he could hit another one.
Front court, Blue Devils to Duhan. Blue Devils still up by 4. Battier dives, dishes, Dunleavy 3. Bottoms again! Mike Dunleavy heating it up.
Gardner. Oh, Battier blocks it behind the back to Duhan. One of the all-time blocks right there. Get in there, Battier, get in there! And Dunleavy for 3 in a row.
That is some sequence for Duke University. This place has erupted for the Blue Devils. And Michael Dunleavy has hit his 3rd three-pointer in a row. And the Devils go up by 10 at 49-39.
We have a rule. If you get hot, we're going to keep giving you the ball. You know, I came down after Mike hit 2 threes and I saw him in the corner, just passed him again. And we just keep feeding him. Mike is capable of getting those type of grooves, and that was huge for us tonight.
Dunleavy knocked down 3 threes in 46 seconds. 9 points in under a minute. There's his father.
We had a 10-point lead at that time, and Arizona called a timeout. And you could really feel the energy from our crowd. And, you know, we felt good about ourselves at that time, and we knew we still had a long way to go.
There was a long way to go, and Lute Olson's Cats were not about to go home without a fight.
Skip it out high for Jefferson. He'll move in. He'll jump up a 3. Got it.
Finally a 3-ball for Arizona, and boy, was that needed by the Cats.
And for the Devils, the situation was about to get worse.
Charging foul, and that's the 3rd now. Foul on Jason Williams. Oh, what a big call.
A huge call that goes in favor of Arizona.
Woods moves in, jumping from 15, missed back to no good. Rebound Michael Wright, goes to the bucket strong, scores it, and he's fouled. Big possession here for Arizona.
Woods delivers.
He is playing a terrific basketball game.
9-point run for the Cats.
With the lead down to 2, Dunleavy kept the points coming.
Tipped around up to Duhan. Back inside, Dunleavy, and it's his half.
Jefferson in the left corner. Throws it outside. Stolen away by Casey Sanders. Loops it ahead to Mike Dunleavy, who had gotten behind. Slam dunk.
Boy, his dad doesn't get to see him play very often, but he's making this one a very special night.
Devils with a little more breathing room now at 6 points.
The Cats, however, kept clawing their way back. And when Richard Jefferson hit his 2nd 3-point shot of the half, Arizona was back to within 3. But Dunleavy wasn't done yet. On his way to a team-high 21 points.
Who would have ever expected that that's where the points were going to come from? Jason controlling the basketball, tries to go down inside, underhits it, Boozer slam dunk! Carlos Boozer with his 12th point of the ball game, and it's 58-51, 7-point Blue Devil lead. To Jason Williams, cross-court pass to Duhan, hesitation, drive by Jefferson, out of the right corner of the pass, Dunleavy, pass fake, shot, three-pointer good! Michael Dunleavy knocks home yet another three-pointer. He is on fire!
Dunleavy has 18 and a half. Arizona as a team, 19.
But while one Duke guard was stockpiling points, another kept gathering fouls.
Knocked away by Jason, but he got the foul, and that'll be his 4th. Jason Williams getting his 4th foul of the ball game, coming with 9:23 left.
With his team up by 10, Williams sat again. And this time, the Devils didn't miss a beat.
Duhan will control the offense against Gardner. Gardner closely guarding out near the open floor. He goes to Battier in the paint. Shot fake. Got the man off the floor. Shot rolls, and he's fouled on the play. Shane Battier with a gutsy play as the National Player of the Year takes it into the paint.
As he had done all night, Woods responded with more of his team-high 22 points.
We did have answers, and they had answers.
James drives in, and the senior gets it to go.
And is Mike Kryzyzewski getting points from the unknown tonight?
Williams is back on the floor for Duke with the 4 fouls.
Woods again with another great play defensively. Big stop for Arizona right there.
Woods, what a rebound by Woods.
Huge defensive stand right here.
And Woods comes up with the huge defensive play.
The numbers.
Well, to the trailer. Arenas. It's down to 3. Here we go, Minneapolis.
Arizona's a tough team, and we knew we weren't going to knock them out. And they responded with a run, but we came up with some big plays to counter their run.
15 seconds on the shot clock as Duhan goes by Arenas. Down inside the runner up. Count the basket and the foul on the play on the reach-in against Arizona.
Chris has been doing it for us all year round. So much trust and faith in him that he's going to take care of the ball. He did a great job of that, and he's just a special player, and he can do things like that.
That foul's going to go on the big guy, number 3, Lauren Woods. That's his 4th. With 4 minutes and 59 seconds to play, so now a very integral part of both teams saddled with 4 fouls.
Up 3 with just under 4 minutes left, Duke turned to its leader, and with the national title in his grasp, Shane Battier refused to let go.
Well, I'll tell you what, I really believe in guardian angels, because in the second half I was exhausted. I didn't have any legs left. It just seems like I found a different level.
Dunleavy accepts the pass out front to the top of the circle. He'll send it down inside. Boucher goes with the left hand. No good. Stopped back in by Shane Battier on the drive. Goes to a jump stop, ball away, up, in and out. Rebound tipped up and rolls around and falls in for the Blue Devils.
I believe Shane Battier gets credit for that tip in, Bob.
My guardian angels were helping me up and just guided the ball in the hoop and gave me the strength to make those plays.
Well, his guardian angels have good ups because he got way up on the dunk, but the other one was, to me, one of the great plays I've ever seen in a national championship game. I don't know how he got it. It was Shane Battier's play.
Even Lauren Woods was helpless against the tournament's most outstanding player.
Jason looking to dive inside. Can't. Over the head pass to Battier. Takes a step, slams into the right hand. Shane Battier with 12 second half points, 18 for the game.
Yeah, that's Shane. I mean, Shane's the type of player who's been doing that for us all year round, and we kind of expect that from Shane. It's good to see him go out that way.
Despite having a difficult night shooting the ball, it was Jason Williams who fittingly put the finishing touch on Duke's 3rd national championship.
Fires a 3. How sweet it is! Jason knocks home the 3.
Long 3. That might be the nail in the coffin, so to speak, for the Cavs.
That was the shot that I think sealed it for us.
3, 2, 1. How sweet it is! The Duke Blue Devils are the NCAA basketball champions. 2001 turns out to be a Blue Devil odyssey with an 82-72 win over the Arizona Wildcats. And the most beautiful girl at the big dance is the Devil with a blue dress on. Oh, how sweet it is!
Finally, to come out on top is just this unexplainable. You can't explain it. It's just the best feeling in the world.
NCAA championship number 3.
It really was special for us to separate coach from the pack. A bunch of coaches have won 2, which makes you a legend. And we put coach in that next echelon.
I think at some time when my career's over, I'll look back on it and say, wow.
Giving a big hug to wife Mickey and 2 of his 3 daughters who are here, and the 3rd one, Debbie. I'm sure here in spirit back home in Durham, having just had Mike Kryzyzewski's 2nd grandchild. So what a Final Four week for the Blue Devil head coach as he gets a new grandson, and now he gets a 3rd national championship.
Winning is nice,
sharing big accomplishments with the ones you love is even better, and they've allowed me to do that.
We do all share in it, and I think that that comes from Mike. I don't think that that's anything that we'll ever get used to or ever not feel very intensely excited about.
I was looking at my family. They've been with me the whole way, and always been there for me, and I was so glad they could be in Minneapolis and watch our team and watch me play, and it's just a very happy time.
College basketball's Renaissance man, Jim Battier.
It's been a storybook, and it needed to end with him winning the championship. I told him right after the game on the court, I said, thanks for letting me ride you.
I just thank him for the ride he's allowed me to have with him over the last 4 years. I came to Duke as a boy, and I think I'm going out to Med as a man.
This was Shane's time, and we were all fortunate to be with him.
It was a great night for all the Blue Devils, each and every one who could claim louder than ever, we are Duke.
A championship is forever. So when we're fat and old and gray, we come back with our grandkids and great-grandkids. We can look up at the rafters in Cameron and say, 2001, that was our year.
There he is, right there. No, what in the world is going on out there? Come on. We can't run this play if you can't get open. Come on, let's go. Try it again.
A lot goes into the making of a champion. The same is true of the products they choose to play with. Rawlings.
All right, that's more like it. Let's see if we can do it again.
A never-ending commitment to excellence.